Hi. Does your team give you heart palpitations? Do they often go down early on in the game and then they have to fight to bring it back up? Well, I've got news for you. My name is Dr. Coyote, and I'd like to introduce you a new thing that I call Come Back It. This one simple cure can solve all your problems. Simply keep watching as your team goes and fires 4 into the back of the net to trump the other team who scored 3 against you in the first.
Side effects might include giddiness, happiness, excitement, loud cheers, shortness of breath, partial deafness, a sense of pride, a long mullet, spontaneous hot dogs, a killer instinct, more goals, heightened defense, coyotes howls, and belonging to the pack. Do not take comeback hit if you are a member of the Senators organization or any of the other 30 NHL teams. Talk to your doctor today to see if comeback hit is right for you.
It ain't easy being a Coyotes fan, but it sure isn't easy being a Coyotes fan in the middle of Alberta. To the north of me are the Edmonton Oilers, and to the south of me are the Calgary Flames. And here I am, smack dab in the middle. So join me as I talk about the 23-24 Arizona Coyotes on Season 1 of the Albertan Coyotes Fan. So stay howling and go Yotes! Oh, good gravy, that was a game. Yotes win 4-3 against the Ottawa Senators. We're just gonna jump right into this. So first period, Sens score not 1, not 2, but 3 goals against us. That's not good. Ingram gets pulled, Vermilk goes in. I will say that the Sens goals, save for the one that happened on the power play for the Sens, they were all very fluky. There was one point where a goal was scored kind of just on a bit of a tip-in, and Ingram just couldn't follow it. So there's not really much to complain about quite yet. I can English, it's fine. No, I can't, because the Yotes just came back and won. We'll get to that, hold on. The fight happens between Dumba and Tkachuk, where Dumba didn't really have a good footing, so he's kind of slipping and sliding all over the place. So technically, Tkachuk won, but no, that was dumb. Close out near the end of the period, which is a penalty that the Coyotes took the blood into the second period. Sanderson gets tripped by Kerfoot, but it showed the replay. It didn't look like a trip. There was barely any stick on body. It looked like Sanderson dove. Just straight up dived. I've been to acting school, and I guarantee that I could do a better dive than the one he did. But it was enough to fool the refs, so there you go. Getting into the second period, and things are ramping up physically. Like, yeah, we had the fight in the first period, but we didn't really have much of a scrum. And we had a scrum in this period. Scrum happens, 4-on-4 ensues, and then we get to our first goal for the Coyotes. McBain, right in front of the net, gives it off to Cooley, who has an open net, and I'm screaming at him to shoot. He doesn't shoot. He passes it back to McBain, and it goes into the back of the net. So, Cooley, you could have done something, but hey, you did something that worked for us, so it's fine. Coyotes score again when Michelli shoots and the puck goes off to the left side, where Moser finds the puck, buries it. That's 2-3, and we're looking kind of good now. I will say, even in the first period, the Coyotes looked good. Korpisalo just looked better. We were getting goalied, and then we figured out the goalie. So now we're down by 1, but we're at least within 1. Right after that, I'm writing a tweet, and it's essentially because there was a bit of a play on the last goal, the one that brought it up to 2-3, where we could have been called for a penalty, and I said, like, I don't like the inconsistencies with the NHL rulebook, but with it being the Sens, I don't care. I don't care. For what they're doing, I don't care. I was writing that tweet, we score again. Keller finds the puck, he has a sliver to shoot at, and he does it. He shoots. It goes into the back of the net. We are tied. And then we get to the fourth goal. Carcone. This is forever a thing. Carson shoots the puck, and it goes off Korpisalo. And it bounces to the right of Korpisalo. But there's a Sens player there. And the Sens player has his skate just perfectly lined up that the puck goes off the skate and into the back of the net. And that puts us up by 1. That is how the game will end, 4-3 for the Coyotes. But I do want to make one more mention. The Coyotes still don't know how to deal with an empty net. We had 2 shots that either went off the post or were just wide. And everything else just looked like a scramble. It was heart-wrenching. It was stopping. The heart's just boom, boom, boom. But we managed to hold off. We don't score on the empty net, but we do hold off. And we win the game. And there's a scrum after the fact, which, sending a message and all that. But, we win. Who cares? Woo. Now, getting away from the game, because I covered the game already. We're back with our beef with the broadcasters. Again, I only have the opposition in regards to broadcast, so I had to deal with the Sens broadcast on this one. And there's just a couple notes that I want to make, and I want to emphasize real quick. I do want to become a broadcaster, so I'm just going to ruin all my bridges before I even get there. But there's 2 things from the broadcast that I heard that I cannot stand. The first one is a little more, just irks the gears a bit, just a little bit. There were points in the game where they were embellishing some of the situations that were happening. There was a point where they were talking about Keller having an open shot at the net, but he didn't take it. No, he was gliding through the crease. He didn't have time to stop and make that shot and have the time that they were saying that he had. The other thing is they were talking about the fight between Dumba and Tkachuk, where Tkachuk was supposedly throwing haymakers that were hitting the helmet. No, he wasn't. He was not. That was a whole lot of pushing and shoving. I didn't really see much of a punch thrown at all. What? Talking about almost having a breakaway after a scrum. No, they didn't. It was riding up the wall. We had someone there to pinch it off. And if you're in broadcast, okay, there's 2 things about broadcast. Like, 1, you tell the story of the game. That is first and foremost. But the second thing, and this is why you can't be embellishing the game, you can't be embellishing the call on the color broadcast, you're talking to people who may be blind. You're talking to people who might not be able to see the game. And if they think that the game is going oh so wonderfully for one team when that one team isn't actually, doing what the broadcast is saying that they're doing, they're getting a false narrative that breaks trust between the viewer and the broadcaster. Second thing I'm going to note, have you ever had those opportunities, like maybe you've got a nephew or you've got a son or a daughter or a niece, where they'll come up to you like, hey, watch this. And they grab a hat and they're like, woo. And they catch it. And that's it. And that's all they do. And you have to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, that's the greatest thing I've ever freaking seen. That is so amazing. Yeah, it works with young kids because you want to hype them up. It works. It doesn't work when you're talking about professional hockey players who are getting paid millions to do the simple stuff that you're going, oh wow, that's insane. There was one play where the Ottawa Senators held the zone. The guy lifts his stick. Hold on, I've got a hockey stick. I can do this. Guy lifts his stick like this. Stops the puck. Drops it down. Has control of it. You get paid to do that. And they're looking at it like, oh wow, that was incredible. And they do that for everything. Everything. There was one point they were talking about a save from Korpisalo where we basically just dumped it as his logo. And it was like, oh, well, that was an incredible save. No, it wasn't. It was routine. Making it look easy. Yeah, because it was routine. That's stupid. That's dumb. That belittles that team, that line. Basically says, yeah, go out and be mediocre. We'll still love you. We'll still, cherish every little thing you do. When you're making millions, that doesn't work. I will say one more thing to kind of add everything. Not really thrilled with the Coyotes on 2 things in regards to their behind-the-scenes stuff. 1, could you guys stop playing Country Roads for the karaoke bit or whatever it is? Because that song's getting old. I know Marilla likes it. At least the source told us of that on X or Twitter or what have you. But it's getting old. You can find another song. The other thing is Chychrun made his debut against the Coyotes, having been traded from the Coyotes last spring. There was no tribute, and the most he had was, I believe it was in one of the intermissions, he had someone basically just announce, "Welcome back, Chikrin." I go out and I see other teams, they've got video tributes and this big thing. It's massive. Bo Horvat, I believe, had something like that when he went back to Vancouver as an Islander. Why couldn't we have done that with Chikrin? Chikrin was drafted in Arizona. He played in Arizona. And he gets traded away and nothing? He gets a welcome back. At least no one booed. That I'm happy about. No one booed him. So the next game for the Coyotes is on the 21st. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea if I'm going to be back here for that. Strictly because Sportsnet costs money. I don't have money yet. So, look at me knowing how to budget. Woo. It'll probably be fine. It's just been a real crazy month with, Christmas coming up and everything like that. It's just been whoosh, and emergencies, medical stuff, the whole works. So it's been tight. I might not be able to cover the game, but I'm probably still going to do some form of a video. Like maybe I'll watch the replays and just be like, oh yeah, I totally watched the game. So we'll see what happens. If nothing else, I might just use it as like an opportunity to talk about some other things that I'm interested in and be like, oh yeah, well, it's not coverage of the game, but here's something about me you probably didn't know. So in the meantime, stay howling, go Yotes, and I'll see you on Thursday. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and hit that like button. It's very shiny, it's very pretty. And it looks prettier when it's filled in. If you didn't like it, dislike button also does the same thing. It fills in and it's shiny, so yeah. And if you want to see more of it, you want something more shiny to look at, you can hit the red button. It's shiny until you hit it, which thanks YouTube for making that boring. But yeah, there we go. To share it with your friends, maybe they want to see the shiny stuff below the video. Yeah, and Arizona never do that to us again.